Hi, lovelies. Welcome to Managing My Money with Rosa. Today is Transfer Thursday, where we talk about how we are intentionally investing for our future. If you're new here, my name is Rosa. My channel is all about my personal budgeting journey. It is usually about cash envelopes, sinking funds, saving challenges, how we stash our money, where we stash our money, why we stash our money. But it is also about our investing journey. If any of that is of interest to you and you have not already, I'd really appreciate if you would take a second and hit subscribe down below. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and spending a little bit more of your time with me. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. And everyone, please take a second, smash that thumbs up button for me, please. All right, so we are closing out the month of April and we are moving into May. As we do so, we are going to talk about near the end, we're going to talk about how overall my investing portfolio is doing. But we start with my IRA tracker. So I have a Roth IRA in which I just recently started to put into 2025. The last 3 years, our focus has been paying down debt. We did a great job. We knocked off I thought it was $50,000, but then I went and I really looked and we actually paid off close to $80,000 worth of debt over the last 3 years. And in doing so, my IRA kind of sat in the background because just trying to put huge chunks toward that debt to make it go away as fast as we could. We are still not going to max out my IRA this year because right now the priority is getting money for a couple of things that are coming up, and then once those things are, all that money is set to the side, then our priority will be paying down our debt again. We did a great job, got out of debt now, and then we bought my honey a truck this year. So my investing in IRA have not been focus for us. We have changed up how much is going into the IRA though. We are now putting $100 of every one of my checks into my IRA. I have a Roth IRA. You'll hear this from time to time, actually hear this every time. I am a Fidelity girl. All of my accounts are held with Fidelity, and it just so happens that my company also puts both my 401k and my HSA inside of Fidelity. So I'm like, yay, it's all in one nice, neat spot. But I have what's called a Fidelity Go account where they take care of everything for me. I just put the money in and they invest it however it is that they're going to invest it, and it has really worked for me. We are up, I think I'm up 20%. I looked, I think yesterday, late afternoon, and we were up 20%. So I just love how it's all being taken care of and managed. Not a whole whopping lot in there, but we also haven't focused a priority for it either. So right now we have $100 in my 2025 IRA. Up next, we are going to talk about the shares that we purchased, and then we'll talk about where we are and how much we got paid for the entire month of April. So Advanced Auto Parts is one that we buy every time my honey gets paid, so twice a month. We put $25 in and see how much we can get. Well, I was out for surgery. While I was out for surgery and then home recovery, my honey took a couple of extra days off. So when he got his paycheck, it was a couple $100 short because he is an hourly worker. I'm salary, he's hourly. So because that happened, we didn't get a second $25 set of Advanced Auto Parts because it just wasn't in the budget. Something had to give. So that's all right. We only got $24.97 in the month of April, which gave us a 0.765, so just over 3/4 of a share. But then we also got paid from Advanced Auto Parts, $607, so I really loved that, which meant that we gained an extra 0.186 shares. So yay, loved that that happened, and we closed out the month with just over 25 shares of Advanced Auto Part. Acre. I've already bought into Acre for May. We bought $4.99, which meant that we got 1.443 shares. And we closed out April with just over 33.5 shares. AG&C, I got $5 and 0.616, so just over half a share. and we ended the month of April with just over 90.5 shares, so 90.7. ARCC, we got $4.98, and that got us just over a quarter, 0.253 shares, and we ended April with 5.69 shares, so almost 5.7 shares. BWLP, I got $5. That gave us just over half a share. It's 0.534 shares, and we closed out April with just over 10 full shares. Cube, we got $4.97. That gave us just over a tenth of a share, 0.128, and we closed out the month with Cube for 2.6 shares. Duke. Duke is one. Duke and IBM are the two that I'm really focusing on trying to get up to 2 shares, but they are expensive for my budget anyways. Expensive being they're like $100. IBM's like $200. So when I put in $9.98, I got 0.082 shares. And then for the month of April, we closed out at just over a share and a half, 1.56 shares. So this got more than just the $5 that I normally put in, but I don't know how long I can sustain that because it's not part of the budget. It's just a $5 budget line. So trying to work on getting that up to 2 shares by the end of the year. I would like to, but I don't know that that's really going to happen. EPD, we got $4.98, 0.164 shares, and we closed the month out with 4.631 shares. FAGIX, I got $5. Gave me just over half a share, 0.518, and we closed the month out with 24 shares. FDHY is $4.98. We got just over a tenth of a share, so 0.106, and we closed out the month just squeaking over $4 a share. Not $4 a share, just over $4, or just over 4 shares. I can't speak. FSBTX, I got $5. 0.181 shares. We closed out the month with 3.13 shares. IBM, I got $9.93. Again, IBM is sitting around $200, so my $10 really didn't get me a whole lot. I got 0.042 shares, and we are just over 1.4 shares, so creeping in on 1.5 shares. Not quickly though. And then Mo, we closed out the month at almost 8 shares, 7.897. O, I have 4.685. OBDC, 6.837 shares. OHI closed out at 5.633 shares. PFLT, we closed out at 33.795 shares. PNNT, we closed out at 99.2 shares, so creeping on 100. PSEC, 130.306 shares. RATM, 12.063, so just over 12 shares. So 2.195 shares. AT&T, 5.674 shares. Verizon, we closed at 2.644 shares. And ExxonMobil, we closed out at 2.867 shares. And then I just have some blank sheets here in case we get into anything extra. So that was how we closed out all of the positions that we are focused on. So I have a handful of positions I'm not really focusing on right now, but they are dividend stocks, but we are not growing them intentionally. I actually can't wait to get out of them. I have 3 that I cannot wait to get out of. I don't like the rate of return on 2 of them, and 1 of them I'm just over it. So trying to get out of both of those. But overall, we got paid $63.36. Yay! And I just want to show you the difference what intentional investing does. So on average, I'm putting $5 into all of these every month. With that said, in January, I got paid $53.28, and now in April, 3 months later, the same stocks that paid me before paid me again. They're every 3 months. Some of these do pay me every month, but I think of it as a quarter. I'm already $10 up from where I was in January, which I love, and that is totally due to intentionally investing, growing my positions. So I love that we're up $10 in getting paid. Now, my whole portfolio value is $7,715 right now. So if I were to cash it all in, I'm making this video Wednesday night. So this morning, if I were to cash in my portfolio, it would only be worth $7,715. However, I have more money in it, so I'm going to skip a handful of lines. I am currently down $872. So I don't care that I'm down. That's ultimately what it comes down to. The stock market goes up, the stock market comes down. I know that it's just a waiting game for some of these. The ones I'm waiting to get out of are creeping where I want to get out of, but I'm down a couple $100s in some of these. And it's okay. I know that if I continue to buy low, it's going to reduce my cost, and then means that my yield is going to be higher. My yield on cost is going to be higher. So right now, if I just bought into the market on each of these where I am, I would have an 8.67 rate of return. That's fantastic. I have some that I have one in the 20s. I have a whole bunch in the teens. I have some in the 9s, the 8s, but I also have some down in the 2s and the 3s. So just trying to rearrange where I'm all at. But as an average yield, I'm at 8.67%. My yield on cost is lower. It's 7.79%. Again, I am down in a handful of these, and because of that, that's how it's affecting my yield on cost. I am projected to get $669 for the year based off where I am, and considering I started at 601 this year and we're already up to 669, yay! Absolutely loving how this is going. I want to quickly say I'm not a financial consultant. These are all stocks that I have looked into. These are all stocks that I have done my research on, and I've decided these are positions that I wanted to purchase. You should never take somebody else's word for what you should be in. These are just ones that I liked. Some of these I like the rate of return. Some of these I like the company. Some of these I'm in for long-term growth, and that's the only reason. One of my Fidelity ones, A, B, C, D, E, F. FAGIX, I'm in for long-term growth, and FSPTX, I'm in for long-term growth. I don't care if either of those pay me anything. They're specifically for long-term growth. They have already done me a world of ups in them, and I intend on keeping it that way, but I want to continue to grow those positions. Some of these, like Advanced Auto Parts, we have a set number that once the stock reaches this particular number, we're going to sell all of it, make the profit off of it. But in the meantime, it's paying us a dividend. Yay! I actually went and looked because I couldn't believe we got $6 this month. I went and looked when I originally bought it in October of 2023. We got $2 the first time we got a dividend off of Advanced Auto Parts. So a year and a half later, we're up to $6. That's 3 times the growth, but it's that intentional investing and that intentional growing of our positions is what's allowing us to increase how much we are getting paid every month. But just do your research. I scrolling through, just scrolling one day, watching some videos, and Dave Ramsey said something that I was like, that's a really great thought. Don't put your money into something you don't understand. So if stocks are not something you understand, but something you would like to get into, I suggest you get some books, do some research, do some looking into how do you invest. If you do invest, great. I would love to hear what kind of dividend stocks you are in, and if there are any that you're in for long-term growth. But I love playing the stock market. So it's kind of been a passion for a very long time, but didn't get into it until basically 2020 when we got trapped at home. And it's slowly, so 2020, so the last 5 years, we have built up so that there is now, we basically have $8,000 in that portfolio. So just slowly working on growing it and growing it. If you have any questions or just want to say, hey, I'd love if you drop it in chat. And I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.